Based on the Kirchhoff's current law and voltage law, there are two methods. There are two methods of circuit analysis based on the Kirchhoff's voltage law and Kirchhoff's current law. So the method which is based on the Kirchhoff's voltage law, it is called mesh analysis method, and the method which is based on Kirchhoff's current law is called nodal analysis method. So first we will study about the mesh analysis. So what is the meaning of mesh? Mesh is nothing but a loop which does not contain any other loop or loops within it. It is called mesh. So mesh is basically a loop और उसके अंदर और कोई और loop नहीं है, then it will be called mesh. So currents are assigned to meshes, and network having large number of voltage sources can be solved using mesh analysis. These are the steps to calculate the value using mesh analysis. First we will identify the mesh and assign currents in each. Then we will apply KVL to the mesh and solve the simultaneous equations. So these are fundamentally three steps which we will use. So let us take this circuit diagram to understand the mesh analysis. So here we have supply voltage, then there are resistors and combination of supply voltage. So this is one of the circuit diagram. First step is to identify the mesh. So in this circuit diagram we have three mesh: first mesh, second and third mesh. After identifying the mesh, we will assign current in each. So in the first mesh we will assign current in clockwise direction. We will give the name I1. We will assign current I2 in the second mesh, and we will assign current I3 in the third mesh. The direction of the current can be either clockwise or anti-clockwise. There is no rule for it. You can assign clockwise or anti-clockwise direction of the current. The ultimate result will indicate the direction is right or wrong. If the direction of the current is correct, then we will get a positive value for that branch. If the direction of current is opposite, then we will get negative value for that branch. So next step is to apply KVL to each mesh. So to the first mesh we will apply KVL. So when we apply KVL to the mesh 1, we will get this equation. To apply the KVL, we will consider the direction of I1. So in this case, I1 is flowing from this side to this side. That's why this terminal of the R2 is positive, this terminal of R2 is negative. In R1, I1 is flowing from right to left. So this terminal is positive and this terminal is negative. The voltage source is having fixed terminals, positive and negative. So in this mesh, when we apply KVL, we get the equation V1, we are going from negative to positive, minus R2, we are going from positive to negative, that's why minus. And there are two currents in this branch. First is I1, that is downwards, another is I2, that is upwards. So R2 in bracket I1 minus I2. And next is we are going from positive to negative in R1. That's why we will consider it minus R1 multiplied by I1 is equal to 0. So we get equation R1 plus R2 I1 minus R2 I2 is equal to V1 from this. So this is our equation 1 for the mesh 1 using KVL. Now when we apply KVL to mesh 2, we consider the direction of the current of I2. So the I2 is entering from this side and exiting from this side in R4. That's why this is positive, this is negative. I2 is entering from right and exiting from left. So this terminal is positive, this is negative. I2 is entering from downwards and exiting from upwards. So this is positive and this is negative. And this source is having positive and negative terminals. So when we apply KVL, we get the equation like this. We are moving from positive to negative, that's why minus we do. Then this is also positive to negative, that's why minus R4. There are two currents in this branch, I2 is downward, I3 is upward, that's why I2 minus I3. Now we are going from right to left in R3, that's why minus R3 multiplied by I2. We are going from this side to this side, down to up, that is positive to negative, that's why minus R2 multiplied by I2, and another current is I1 in this branch. So I2 minus I1 is equal to 0. Simplifying this equation, we get R2 I1 plus in bracket minus R4 minus R3 minus R2 multiplied by I2 plus R4 I3 is equal to V2. So we will convert the equations in the form of simultaneous equations so that we can solve them easily. Our variable in this case is current I1, I2, I1, I2, I3. Now if we apply KVL to mesh 3, we will consider the direction of the I3. So I3 is flowing in clockwise direction, that's why it will enter from this side and exit from this side in R5. That's why this is positive and this is negative. It is going down to up, that's why this is positive, negative, and V3 is having positive terminal and negative terminal. So if we move in clockwise direction, positive to negative, that's why this is minus V3. Now positive to negative minus R5 multiplied by I3 minus R4 multiplied by, there are two currents in this branch, I3 and I2. I3 is going upward, I2 is going downward, that's why I3 minus I2 is equal to 0. So simplifying this equation or converting in the form of simultaneous equation, R4 I2 plus minus R4 minus R5 I3 is equal to V3. This is equation number 3. So we got 3 equations for 3 unknowns, that is currents. So we will write this equation in the matrix form. So we have R1 plus R2, which is in the multiplication of I1, then minus R2, it is in the multiplication of I2, and there is nothing for the I3, that's why 0. Same way I1 is multiplied by R2, that's why here it is R2. Now minus R4 minus R3 minus R2, it is in multiplication of I2, and we have R4 is in the multiplication of I3. For third equation, we have nothing for I1, that's why it is 0. Then I2 is multiplied by R4 and I3 is multiplied by minus R4 minus R5. So we can put these equations in the matrix form, and we have right side of the equal to V1, V2 and V3. So this is V1, V2 and V3. So in general, we can write the matrix form like this: R11, R12, R13, R21, R22, R23, R31, R32, R33. In this matrix, R11 indicates self-resistance or sum of all resistances of mesh 1. For example, in this case, in this mesh 1, the resistances are R1 and R2. So it indicates summation of R1 and R2. Same way, R22 indicates self-resistance or sum of all resistances of mesh 2. So here we can see that this is mesh 2 and it is having resistances R2, R3 and R4. So this is the summation of R2, R3 and R4. The sign is because of the direction of the current. Based on the direction of the current and polarity of the voltage source, we get either positive or negative sign. And R33, it is also indicates self-resistance or sum of all the resistances of mesh 3. So in mesh 3 we have resistance R4 and R5. So here we are getting summation of R4 and R5. Again here the sign is the indication of this polarity of the voltage source. If we make this positive, then we can take this as a negative. So it is based on the direction of the current. Now R12 and R21, these are the sum of all resistances common to mesh 1 and 2. So this is the summation of the resistances which are common to mesh 1 and 2. So we have in mesh 1 and 2 the common resistor is R2. So here it is, we can see that it is R2. Same way R13 and R31, it is also indicates the sum of all resistances common to mesh 1 and 3. So for mesh 1 and 3, this is mesh 1 and this is mesh 3, there is no common resistor, so we get 0 in that case. Here R23 and R32 indicates the value of resistors which are common to mesh 2 and 3. So if you see mesh 2 and 3, the common resistor is R4, so we have value R4 at that place. Now the meshes that share a current source with other meshes form a super mesh. For example, like this. So in this case, the mesh 1 and mesh 2 is sharing a current source between them. So this formulates a super mesh. So in case of super mesh, we assume current source to be open circuited. Here you can see that in these meshes we cannot apply the KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law, because there is a current source in between. So we cannot apply KVL in this mesh and this mesh. So this is a super mesh, and to solve the super mesh, we assume current source to be open circuited, and the super mesh requires one mesh current equation using KVL and other KCL equations. So I will show you this in that example. So let us solve one example utilizing this method, that is mesh current method. So the question is like this: find the value of current I3. Find the value of current I3 utilizing mesh current method. So here we will identify the meshes. This is mesh 1, mesh 3 and mesh 2, and the current are having clockwise direction. This terminal is negative, this is positive, only there is a single voltage source. So if we apply KVL to mesh 1, we will consider direction of the I1. So this is negative and this is positive, these are the fixed terminals. Now I1 is entering from this side, exiting from this side, that's why this is positive, this is negative. Same way this terminal would be positive, this terminal is negative. Again I1 is flowing in this direction, so that's why this is positive and this is negative. So if we apply KVL to mesh 1, we get equation like this. We are moving from negative to positive, that is rise in the potential. Because of rise in the potential we get plus 5. Here there is positive to negative, fall in the potential, that's why minus 1 into I1. Here also positive to negative, that's why minus 3. There are two currents flowing in this branch. I1 is downward, I3 is upward. So I1 minus I3. Again we are going from positive to negative, fall in the potential, that's why minus 2. There are two currents, I1 is downward, I2 is upward. So that's why I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. And we convert this equation into this form. 6I1 minus 2I2 minus 3I3 is equal to 5. This is our equation number 1. Now we apply KVL to mesh 2. Mesh 2 is having current in clockwise direction. Again, considering the direction of I2, we will identify or we will provide the polarity to the resistors, polarity to the voltage drop in resistors. So this is positive, this is negative. Again, this is positive, negative, positive, negative. So based on this polarity, we will apply KVL. So in resistor 2, we are moving from positive to negative. There is a fall in the voltage, that's why minus 2. I2 is upward, I1 is downward. Both are in opposite direction, that's why I2 minus I1. Positive to negative, fall in the potential. I3 and I2 are in opposite direction, that's why minus 1, I2 minus I3. And we are going from positive to negative, fall in the potential, and that's why minus 4 I2 is equal to 0. So we get equation 2I1 minus 7I2 plus I3 is equal to 0. So if we apply KVL to mesh 3, we will consider the direction of current I3, and based on the I3, we will provide the polarity to each resistor. So we are moving from, current is flowing from upwards to downwards in 2 ohm resistor. That's why this is positive, this is negative. Same way, positive, negative, positive, negative. So if we apply KVL to mesh 3, we get the equation like this. Minus, we are moving from positive to negative, that's why minus 2I3. There is a fall in the voltage. Here also fall in the voltage, that's why minus 1, I3 minus I2. And here also fall in the voltage, that's why minus 3, I3 minus I1. In this branch, the currents are of 2 mesh. This branch is having I3 and I1. This branch is having current I3 and I2. Both are in opposite directions. So the equation is like this. Now simplifying this equation, we get current 3I1 plus I2 minus 6I3 is equal to 0. So we got equation 1, 2 and 3. Now these equations are put into the matrix form. So we get the matrix like this. So I1 is multiplied by 6, that's why 6. I2 is multiplied by minus 2, that's why minus 2. I3 is multiplied by minus 3. That's why here minus 3. Same way, this is having 2I1, that's why 2, minus 7I2, minus 7, plus I3, that's why 1, 3I1, I2, and minus 6I3. In the multiplication, we have I1, I2, and I3 is equal to 5, 0, 0. Right side of the equal to here in 5, 0, 0. So we will put it here. We will solve this using the Cramer's rule. According to Cramer's rule, we will formulate delta. Delta is equal to matrix of this. So we have this matrix 6 minus 2 minus 3, 2 minus 7, 1, 3, 1 and minus 6. If we solve this matrix, we get the value 147. Again, we want to find the current I3. We have 3 unknown, I1, I2, I3. If we want to find the current I3, we will replace the third column with this. If we want to find I1, then we can replace the first column with this. If we want to find I2, then we will replace second column with this. Now we want to find I3, that's why we replace third column with this. So we get the matrix delta 3 is equal to 6, 2, 3, minus 2, minus 7, 1, and we will replace third column with 5, 0, 0. So if we solve the delta 3, we get the value 115. So according to Cramer's rule, the value of I3 is equal to delta 3 divided by delta. So the value of delta 3 is 115 and value of delta is 147. So we get the value of current 0.782 ampere, that is I3. So like this, utilizing the mesh analysis method, we can find the value of different mesh currents or branch currents. Now let us take the example of super mesh. So the question is like this: find the current in 3 ohm resistor. So this is the 3 ohm resistor and we want to find the current in this. Now if you see that there are 3 mesh, 1, 2 and 3, and these 2 mesh are having common current source in this branch. So this will formulate a super mesh. We will consider this as an open circuit and consider this as a super mesh. So utilizing the super mesh, we will find the current in 3 ohm resistor. So we will apply KCL to this branch. The current, mesh current I1 is flowing downwards, mesh current I3 is flowing upward, and the branch current is 7 ampere. So we can write the equation I1 minus I3 is equal to 7 for this branch. So this is our equation 1. Now we will apply KVL to outer part of the super mesh. This is our super mesh, and we will apply KVL to this. So if we apply KVL, if we travel in clockwise direction, so we are going from negative to positive terminal of the 7 volts. That's why there is a rise in the potential, so it is positive. Now in this case, we are going from this side to this side, positive to negative. That's why it is -1 I1 minus I2. We will consider the direction of current clockwise in the super mesh. That's why the polarity is like this: positive, negative, positive, negative. So we get -1 multiplied by I1 minus I2. Now here also we are going from positive to negative, falling the potential. So -3 multiplied by, we have current I3 and I2. So I3 minus I2. This is clockwise, this is clockwise, this is positive, negative, this is positive, negative, and this is positive, negative. Now in the 1 ohm, we have positive and negative, so fall in the potential. That's why -1 and I3 is equal to 0. So we get the equation I1 minus 4I2 plus 4I3 is equal to 7. This is equation 2 because of the super mesh. Now there is mesh 2, so we will apply KVL to this mesh. Current is flowing in clockwise direction, entering here, exiting here, entering here, exiting here, and entering here, exiting here. So we are going from positive to negative, falling the potential, -1 I2 minus I1. Positive to negative, falling the potential, -2 I2. Positive to negative, falling the potential, -3 I2 minus I3 is equal to 0. And we will simplify this as a I1 minus 6I2 plus 3I3 is equal to 0. So we will write equation 1, 2 and 3 in this form for the Cramer's rule. So we are getting 1, 0, 1 for equation 1, 1 minus 4, 4 for equation 2, and 1 minus 6, 3 for the equation 3. Our variables are, our unknowns are I1, I2 and I3. The right side of the equation is having 7, 7 and 0. So we will put 7, 7, 0. Now let us calculate delta. Delta is equal to 1, 0 minus 1, 1 minus 4, 4, 1 minus 6, 3. So if we simplify this, we get 14. We will calculate delta 2. Why? Because we want to find the current flowing in 3 ohm resistor. So the current flowing in 3 ohm resistor is I2 and I3. So we will calculate I2 and I3. So to calculate I2, we will find delta 2, and to calculate I3, we will find delta 3. So to find delta 2, we will replace this column with 700. So we have replaced that is with 700. First column is as it is, 111. Last column is as it is, -1, 4, 3. So if we simplify this matrix, we get the value of the matrix 35. Now delta 3, we are replacing third column with 770, 770. So we get the value of delta 3 is equal to 28. The value of I2 would be delta 2 divided by delta, and we get that value 2.5 ampere. The value of I3 is delta 3 divided by delta, and we get that value 2 ampere. The current flowing in 3 ohm resistor is I2 minus I3 is equal to 0.5 ampere. The sign of the current is positive, that's why the assumed directions are correct, and we are getting current from right to left. So this was about mesh analysis and analysis in case of super mesh. Another method is nodal analysis, which is based on the Kirchhoff's current law. The steps for the node analysis is like this. If network has n nodes, assign a reference node and assign node voltage for remaining n minus 1 nodes. So first step is to find the number of nodes, then consider one node as a reference node and assign node voltage to the remaining nodes. Apply KCL at each node except reference node and solve the simultaneous equations. So these are the steps for nodal analysis. So let us take one example based on nodal analysis. So the question is like this. The problem is like this: calculate the value of current in all the branches using nodal analysis. So we are having this circuit diagram. It is having 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 branches. So we will assume the current in each branch. We are assuming current I1 flowing like this. We are assuming current I2 is flowing like this. We are assuming current I3 is flowing like this. I4 is like this and I5 is like this. So these are the branch currents we want to find. Now the first step is to identify number of nodes. So in this circuit there are 3 nodes, 1, 2 and 3. Out of 3 nodes we will take one node as a reference node. So we are taking this as a reference node and we will provide node voltages to remaining nodes. This node is provided node voltage VA and this node is provided node voltage VB. Now we will apply KCL to each node. So if we apply KCL at node A, we will take current in this branch, current in this branch and current in this branch. So for the current in this branch, we are having direction of current like this. Either you consider the direction of current and then make the equation, or you can directly make the equation. So we are directly writing the equations. So in this branch there are 2 voltages VA and 20 volt. Both are in opposite directions. So the equation is like this: VA minus 20 and the resistance between them is 1 ohm, that is 1. Now in this branch this node is connected to the ground. So we have voltage VA by 1, that is the current for this branch, voltage divided by resistor. In this branch we have voltage divided by resistor, that is VA minus 20 by 1. Now for this branch VA minus VB divided by 0.5 is equal to 0. In this case what we are doing is, if you are confused, I can write like this. The equation is written considering all the currents are flowing outwards. Okay, so this current is flowing this direction, that's why VA minus 20 upon 1. This current is flowing this direction, that's why VA upon 1, and this current is flowing this direction, that's why VA minus VB upon 0.5. So in writing this equation we are assuming the node VA is at higher potential compared to other voltages or other nodes. That's why the equation is like this. Now if we simplify this equation we get 4VA minus 2VB is equal to 20, and further simplifying we get the equation 2VA minus VB is equal to 10. So this is our equation number 1. Now let us apply KCL at node B. So if we apply KCL at node B, again we will do the same thing. In this case we will consider current is outward, this current is outward, and this current is outward from the node B. So this is the standard convention we follow in each example. So the equation for this branch would be VB minus VA divided by 0.5. okay, equation for the current. Now the current for this branch would be VB minus 0 divided by 2, that is VB by 2, and the current for this branch would be VB minus 20, because this is in opposite direction, positive negative, VB minus 20 divided by 1 is equal to 0. So if we simplify this equation we get minus 2 VA plus 3.5 VB is equal to 20. So we got equation 1 and 2. Now if we solve the equation 1 and 2 we get the value of VB is equal to 12 volt and the value of VA is equal to 11 volt. So we got the node voltage VA and VB. Now our requirement is the value of the current in each branch. So we will calculate the value of current I1. So I1 is equal to 20 minus VA upon 1. Why 20 minus VA? Because we are assuming the direction of I1 from 20 to VA. Okay, we are assuming this direction of the current, that's why we are putting this equation. If we get the value with sign minus, then the direction would be opposite. Here we are getting positive answer, that's why the assumed direction is correct. So putting the value of VA, that is 11, we get the value of I1 as 9 ampere. Now next is I2. So the value of I2 would be VA minus 0 divided by 1. VA की value 11 है, so we will get VA divided by 1 is equal to 11 ampere. Now I3 is flowing from VB to VA. So we will write like this: I3 is equal to VB minus VA divided by 0.5. So we will get the answer 12 minus 11 divided by 0.5 is equal to 2 ampere. All these answers are positive. The meaning is the assumed direction of current I1, I2 and I3 are correct. I1 is flowing in this direction, I2 is flowing in this direction, I3 is flowing in this direction, right to left. Now for I4, the equation is VB minus 0 divided by 2. VB minus 0 divided by 2. So we are getting VB by 2, that is 12 by 2 is equal to 6 ampere. This is also positive. The meaning is assumed direction of I4 is correct. Now for I5, we will write VB minus 20 divided by 1 is equal to 12 minus 20 divided by 1. Value of VB is 12. So we get the answer minus 8 ampere. The meaning of minus 8 ampere is the assumed direction of I5, that is this direction, is wrong. The current is flowing in opposite direction. So the right direction of the I5 would be like this. So that's why we are getting minus sign. Now like mesh is having super mesh, we have node that is called super node. So nodes that are connected to each other by voltage sources but not to the reference node by a path of voltage source form a super node. For example, the node like this, these nodes are connected by voltage source. Voltage source can be independent or dependent. So this will form super node. So super node requires one KCL equation and the remaining node voltage will provide KVL equation. So we will take one example of super node. Find the voltage at each node. In this circuit diagram, the question is find the voltage at each node. So our first step would be to identify the number of nodes. So we are having 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 nodes. Second step is to make one node as a reference node. So we will consider this node. This is a single node. So we will consider this node as a reference node. We will name the remaining nodes A, B, C and D. From this circuit, we can say that the voltage at node D would be 40 volt because there is a single voltage source between node D and reference. We are taking voltages with respect to reference only. So voltage at node A is with respect to reference, voltage at node B would be with respect to this reference, and voltage at node C would be with respect to this reference. So voltage at D, that is VD, is equal to 40 volt with respect to reference node. So this would be our equation number 1. Now we will apply KCL at node A. So the current in this branch is clear, 6 ampere, current in this branch would be VA divided by this resistor, that is 10, VA by 10. Now the current in this branch, VA minus VB by 5, and the current in this branch, VA minus VD by 6 is equal to 0. You can see that this voltage source is dependent voltage source. The value of the voltage source is 5 multiplied by Ix, and the value Ix is the current flowing in branch AB. So we got this equation. We simplify the equation in this form and we get 7 by 15 VA minus 1 by 5 VB is equal to 2 by 3. So this is our equation number 2. Now we will apply KCL at super node. So if we apply KCL at super node, we will get this branch current as VB minus VA divided by 5. Branch current for this VB minus 0 divided by 20. Branch current for this VC minus VD divided by 2. The value of VD is 40, that's why VC minus VD, that is 40 divided by 2. And branch current for this VC minus 0 divided by 15. VC by 15 is equal to 0. So if you simplify the equation, we will get the equation number 3, minus VA by 5 plus VB by 4 plus 17 by 30 is multiplied by VC is equal to 20. So we have 3 equations, 1, 2 and 3. Now we will apply KVL as I told for the super node. So for this super node we require to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. So we will write equation like this: VC minus VB is equal to 5Ix. This is the voltage, this is positive, this is negative. So this terminal is positive compared to this terminal. The value of Ix is the current flowing in branch AB. So the current in branch AB would be VB minus VA divided by 5. So we will write that value. So we get the equation VB minus VA. 5 cancel out. The final equation is VC is equal to 2VB minus VA. That would be equation number 4. Now if we put the value of equation number 4 in equation number 3, this is equation number 3 and this is equation number 4. So we will substitute the value of VC in this. So we have minus VA by 5 plus VB by 4 plus 17 by 30, and the value of VC is 2VB minus VA is equal to 20. If we simplify this, we get the equation minus 23 divided by 30 VA plus 83 divided by 60 VB is equal to 20. This is our equation number 5. So we are having equation with variable VA and VB, that is equation number 5. Another equation is with variable VA and VB, that is equation number 2. We can solve these two equations having same variables and we get the value VA is equal to 10 volt and VB is equal to 20 volt. So we got the node voltage VA and VB. Now for VC, we have this equation, equation number 4. In equation number 4, we will substitute the value of VA and VB. So we will get the value of VC is equal to 30 volt. And VD we already know it is 40 volt.